Welcome everybody to our evening of music and conversation as part of the Library Festival at Lancaster University. So welcome to everyone who's here in the library and to everybody online. I hope you have some suitable refreshments and are looking forward to a fantastic start to your weekend with some fantastic guests. I've got my first one soon to be revealed sitting next to me now, and I've got three other wonderful guests I'm going to be talking to. And in between those, we've got some absolutely brilliant music to listen to. My name's Simon Guy. I'm lucky enough to be one of the Pro-Vice-Chancellors here at Lancaster. My areas cover the kind of international, the digital, hence very exciting to be part of this hybrid event, sustainability, which we're going to be talking about a little bit more, and of course, most importantly, the library. So we're here to celebrate the opening of the library extension, which is really exciting. We've had a number of events already today, but I think tonight and tomorrow night are really the highlights. So I think I've outlined the programme, and without further ado, we'll move into the programme. And I'd like to introduce to you my good colleague and friend, Anna Cockman from Facilities.
Hi, Simon.
So Anna, you joined us in 2003. You've moved through various roles. You're now the head of estate development, and your particular focus is around project delivery. And I know you've worked on a whole range of different kinds of projects, and I've worked with you on some of them. Yeah. And I'd like you perhaps to just start off by telling us a little bit about your role and some of the projects you've done. And we'll move to this particular project soon as part of that.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you for inviting me. Happy to be here. My role, as you say, has changed a number of times over the years since I've been here. I've been lucky enough to be involved in a number of really exciting and varied projects. I started, my very first one was in the management school back in 2003 when we did a large extension of that building. But latterly I moved into the estates team, which is part of the facilities division here at Lancaster. And as a project manager, my role is to kind of be the interim relationship kind of manager between the project itself, the executive, who do the governance role, the contractor, the design team, and then the client body. So it's very much about communication, building relationships, and knowing a little bit about a lot, really. But as you said in your introduction, I've been very lucky to work on all three of the library developments. First one started in 2014, and the last one, as we know, is sitting in it today, has been launched today. Very exciting.
Brilliant. There's clearly a fantastic relationship between the library staff and the facilities team, I guess, developed through all these fantastic projects. So tell us a little bit more about that and how that's been a key ingredient for success, for instance, in the extension.
Well, I think on all our projects, for me, as I said, the success of a good project is really about communication and relationships. Good design and delivery will come kind of if those things are successful. And I think a lot of projects have quite a narrow kind of client representation. So, for example, if we're building a faculty building, we might be talking to a head of department and a dean. But with a library, it's kind of everybody in everybody's interest. And not only is this building in kind of the physical heart of campus, I feel like it is actually the kind of emotional, intellectual, beating heart of the campus. It's so important. It's always open. It's a kind of beacon. And I think we therefore recognise that the kind of consultation process had to be done really, really carefully, and we had to involve a huge variety of stakeholders because at the end of the day, everybody has an interest in this building. And I think that's what the foundation on which we've built, and as a result, we've created really strong relationships with the library team, and this building has always been really important to us. And I think it's been kind of delivered with the love and care that it deserves.
Yeah, and we heard earlier this afternoon when the Vice-Chancellor formally opened the library extension, also from Amy from the Students' Union, and she talked about the importance of this library for students, and also the role of the students in the design process. Did you want to say perhaps just a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're absolutely at the heart of everything we've done. We started in phase one with a big working group, many of which the membership were undergrads and postgraduates from across the organisation. So we've always done everything we can to involve students. It can be quite difficult in some ways because they're a transient community, and these projects take years to implement and to come to fruition. So sometimes you know, students don't come to university to be involved in capital projects. That's kind of the last thing on their minds, but they have great ideas. They can teach us so much because they work in a different way. It's important to get their vision wrapped into the design concept. Otherwise, you can find that you're designing for the wrong generation. So they've always been absolutely at the heart of all our design and delivery processes. And it's been, I think that the building stands testament to that.
And you can't fail to notice when you go around, certainly one of my favourite features is the green wall.
Yes. Well,
tell us about that.
Well, I think when we delivered phase 1 of the library, that was finished in 2016, part of that was the delivery of the tree. And that was an idea that was, when it was initially broached, we were kind of thinking, is that really going to work? But we kind of wanted to make it work because the building has to be a place of kind of well-being and peace. And I think bringing nature into the building is so vital to that sense of well-being. So the success of the tree and the way it was received told us that when we delivered this phase, we had to somehow think about that and really try and weave that element. So hence the living wall, which is obviously another. And people keep asking me if it's plastic, and it absolutely isn't plastic. But because it's so beautiful, it's kind of hard to believe that it is real because it's living inside a building. But I think it just adds an incredible beauty and another dimension, and takes us away from just the kind of standard, easy kind of option. It's not an easy option. It's quite difficult to deliver, but I think we felt it was really important.
Yeah, well, very worthwhile. It's stunning,
Yeah.
and for people who haven't seen it yet, please come in and see it. It's an amazing piece of the design, I think. And I guess that brings us on to something else, which is obviously close to my heart and my professional role, which is sustainability.
Yeah.
And obviously the university has declared the climate emergency, and that's a challenge for everybody in the university, staff and students, but particularly colleagues and facilities have got a huge role to play.
Absolutely.
So do you just give us a feel for some of the things that you and your colleagues are doing?
Yeah, so facilities, for those of you who don't know, is a huge division. There's kind of over 600 staff in facilities, but it's quite a varied division. But we are responsible not only for delivering building projects, but we also do all the maintenance, we do the grounds, we do the cleaning, we take on a number of different roles, and therefore, you know, the role we play within the kind of sustainability agenda is absolutely crucial. So not only in capital projects, when we're dealing with the sustainability agenda, we look at things like the materials we're using. For example, in this building, the carpets are all made of recyclable material. The ceiling has got a reconstituted timber, so we're not cutting down new trees to create it. We recycled all the aggregate that we took out of the ground before we built the building. So on individual buildings, we're always very conscious of that agenda. In the wider division, we're looking at all sorts of measures in order to reach our sustainability targets. Currently working very hard on a planning application for a solar farm, which we're hoping to locate at our Forest Hill site just over the way. So that will be a real game changer for us, and will be part of our district heating strategy. So there are loads of different projects ongoing, but it's an exciting time for us, and we will definitely be making a large contribution.
I can vouch for the exciting projects that are coming down the way. We'll be able to tell more people about soon. So thanks, Anna. Thanks for being with us, Anna, for answering our questions.
Thank you.
And I think now it's time to turn to some music.
That would be great.
And everyone can have a bit of refreshment. So we're very lucky to have with us our first act, Leah Silva, an inspiring and talented young local singer who very much lives by what Ella Fitzgerald said: the only thing better than singing is more singing. And as a great Ella Fitzgerald fan, I can only agree. So Leah, over to you.
That Arizona sky burning in your eyes. You look at me and babe, I wanna catch on fire. It's buried in my soul, like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Lovers in the night, poets trying to write. We don't know how to rhyme, but damn, we try. And all I really know, you're where I wanna go. The part of me that's you will never die. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Oh yeah, I don't wanna be just a memory, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. When you look at me and the whole world fades, I'll always remember us this way. Thank you very much. When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. I was running from my brother and his friends, and tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass as I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when I found my heart and broke it here, made friends and lost them through the years. I've not seen the roaring fields in so long. I know I've grown. Can't wait to go home, and I'm on my way. Driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real as we watch the sunset over the castle on the hill. 15 years old and smoking hand-rolled cigarettes, running from the law through the backfields, getting drunk with my friends. Had my first kiss on a Friday night. I don't reckon I did it right, but I was younger then. We'd buy cheap spirits and drink them straight. Me and my friends have not thrown up in so long. Oh, how we've grown. Can't wait to go home, and I'm on my way. Driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real as we watch the sunset over the castle on the hill. Ooh, over the castle on the hill. Ooh, over the castle on the hill. One friend left to sell clothes. One works down by the coast. One had 2 kids but lives alone. One's brother overdosed. One's already on his 2nd wife. One's just barely getting by, but these people raised me, and I can't wait to go home, and I'm on my way. I still remember these old country lanes when we did not know the answer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real as we watch the sunset over the castle on the hill. Ooh, over the castle on the hill. Ooh, over the castle on the hill. Thank you very much. Easy come, easy go. That's just how it lives. Oh, take it all, but you never give. Should've known you was trouble from the first kiss. Had your eyes wide open. Why were they open? I gave you all I had, and you tossed it in the trash. Tossed it in the trash, you did. To give me all your love is all I'd ever ask. 'Cause what you don't understand is I'd catch a grenade for ya, throw my hand on a blade for ya, I'd jump in front of a train for ya. You know I'd do anything for ya. Oh, I would go through all this pain, take a bullet straight through my brain. Yes, I would die for you, baby, but you won't do the same. Black and blue, beat me till I'm numb. Tell the devil I said hey when you get back to where you're from. Mad woman, bad woman, that's just what you are. Yeah, you smile in my face, then rip the brakes off my car. I gave you all I had, and you tossed it in the trash. Tossed it in the trash, you did. To give me all your love is all I'd ever ask. 'Cause what you don't understand is I'd catch a grenade for ya, throw my hand on a blade for ya, I'd jump in front launch a grenade for ya, throw my hand on a blade for ya, I'd jump in front of a train for ya. You know I'd do anything for ya. Oh, I will go through all this pain, take a bullet straight through my brain. Yes, I would die for you, baby, but you won't do the same. No, you won't do the same. You wouldn't do the same. Ooh, you never do the same. Oh, thank you very much. Lately it seems I've lost inspiration. It feels like it's miles away. I sleep through the day and cry through the nighttime. I'm caught in an empty space. It takes effort to fight. I don't have the strength. I'm holding on to what's still left of me. When the life you have planned slowly slips through your hands, when it feels like you just slept through all the best years of your life, when you can't find your way, when each day ends the same, when you've lost the fight inside of you, is there anything worth holding on to? It's hard to be strong when weakness is stronger. I'm a prisoner in my own skin. I'm not good on my own. I need to be cared for. Someone to help these days begin. There are dreams I've let die that I've just pushed aside. I need to find out how to turn this dark back into light. When a warmth disappears, when it's been one of those years, when you're running from the truth because you're scared what you might find, when your heart's beyond repair, when you wake and no one's there, when your home consists of only you, is there anything worth holding on to? Maybe tomorrow my heart will reawaken and I can find what I've been searching for. But today I'm tired and I'm running out of strength. All I know Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
That was Leah, absolutely fantastic. And as with Ella Fitzgerald, I could go on listening to you all night, Leah. And my understanding is actually we're going to see a lot more of you in the library, because I believe that you're starting at Lancaster University this year to studying social work. Is that correct?
Yeah, I am, which is not related to music at all, I know, and would come as a shock to most people, but that's my other love, people. So, yeah, I'm doing a social work degree.
Well, if you bring the same passion and talent to social work, you're going to be extremely successful, I think. So thank you for entertaining us.
Thank you
You've got
for
a wonderful
having me.
future ahead of you. Thank you very much. And now we turn seamlessly to our second guest, where we're delighted to have Professor Paty Murrieta-Flores. Paty, you are the Chair and Co-Director of Digital Humanities at Lancaster, and your interest really lies in the application of technology to the humanities, in particular spatial humanities. And your main focus is the investigation of different aspects of space, place, time, using a range of technologies. I'm going to read these out: GIS, NLP, machine learning, corpus linguistics. So I think for a lot of people, they will perhaps find it a little bit hard to understand what that might mean. So perhaps we could start by just introducing what digital spatial humanities means in a language perhaps we can all understand.
Yeah,
Paty?
absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, I know there are loads of acronyms there, but it's basically digital humanities is quite a wide field. And particularly what we do on it is very much is a field that is very interdisciplinary. And we work particularly with colleagues in computer science. And it refers to the creation and the application of methods and theories from computer science in order to answer questions in the humanities. And by the humanities, I mean fields like archaeology, history, literature, and so on. So I'm an archaeologist. I'm one of those weird people, I think, that, started with a huge love for history. And at some point, I found another love, I think, like Leah was just speaking at the moment, where I fall in love with technology, and I started to seek for the combination of these two things. So digital humanities is basically that, and so it comprises loads of different things, but particularly my research is related to the use of artificial intelligence approaches to solve questions in history and archaeology.
Brilliant. And can you give us some examples of that, a project you're working on? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have been working quite recently. We got funding for a project that is called Unlocking the Colonial Archive. And we are aiming to harness all sorts of artificial intelligence approaches. So these include things like handwritten text recognition, computer vision, for instance, and natural language processing techniques in order to identify, extract, and analyze information from very large historical collections. So it's very much harnessing kind of like digital technologies, particularly to aim to understand specific subjects within historical collections. And I dedicate particularly to 16th century Latin America, specifically the history of the conquest of Mexico.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that fascinates me around this area is the way that it brings different disciplines together. And that's a kind of approach that Lancaster really prides itself on, working collaboratively, working in an interdisciplinary way. So perhaps you can just flesh that out a little bit for us? How it brings different disciplines together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lancaster in this sense has become in the past few years kind of a powerhouse, I will say, for digital humanities. And we are bringing together people from many different faculties and disciplines as well. So as I said before, normally in the humanities, we tend to work as lone scholars. So normally you think of the historian as someone, working in an archive, of particularly, writing a paper or something like that. And digital humanities has enabled a huge amount of collaboration for all, kind of like different disciplines. And so we are very much kind of like creating new methods and techniques in order to simply address questions within the different disciplines that are involved with that. And that includes literature, for instance, as well. We work with people in theology and so on.
Really exciting. And this afternoon, some of us were involved in another launch, the launch of the new digital collections. And can you tell us a little bit more about that and how the library is playing a role in the development of digital humanities at Lancaster?
Yeah, absolutely. It's playing a crucial role for digital humanities. We are, I think, very good. We found very good allies here at the library. And particularly, obviously, there are many challenges ahead of us in terms of, you were talking before about sustainability, for instance, and in terms of conservation, for instance, not only of digital objects, but also of physical objects like documents, archaeological material, and so on. We find that the library and the librarians here and all the people that work, particularly in the digital Lancaster collection, has opened in a way very much a pathway for us in order to digitize the collections that we have and that we work with, and put them at the disposal of the students as well and other staff too, in order to do research with them and so on.
And I understand as well that rather than just coming and using the collections here, you're going to be teaching in the library going forward on your postgraduate course. Is that correct? Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, that's correct. So we agreed with the library to work quite closely in collaboration with them. We have this goal of, helping growing up the library as a research library, right? And so as part of this goal, we opened the Digital Scholarship Lab, which is a fantastic room that is just around there. And it has computers that has specialized software that we use in digital humanities, and we will working with our master students, our postdocs as well, our research groups in this room. We think that this space is very important in terms of collaboration because we believe that very much research and a good research environment can only be built by being together, having these conversations that you normally do not have in a classroom, and by just working together in a quite friendly environment. So this is what we are aiming to do here.
Another great example of the way that the library is reinventing itself at the core of what the university is all about.
Bringing together all sorts of people and with the students as well, because we want to precisely kind of like breaking away the hierarchies that academia normally sustains. So bringing together students, but also, people at all levels of career.
Yeah. And another thing, of course, Lancaster prides itself on is being a global university and having partnerships. So given this is a digital kind of approach, does this open up possibilities for extended kind of engagement beyond the university, even internationally?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have generated massive links and massive collaborations with, particularly my interest is with the Global South. So we work with many libraries and archives as well from Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, all sorts of different places, the United States as well, and Canada. And we work strongly also on decolonization. So we are, by bringing together all these kind of institutions, we are also aiming to showcase here at Lancaster and particularly here in the UK how we do work in other places.
And bringing it back a little bit to the theme of sustainability, then, does that mean that you can work with the Global South, for instance, collaboratively, but without necessarily getting on planes all the time and expelling all that kind of carbon? Is that possible with this kind of research?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Lancaster Digital Collections precisely will enable that. One of the things that we discuss quite a lot with the colleagues here at the library has been precisely this idea of being able to showcase material, let's say from the Lake District, which is an iconic landscape, and that if you are, for instance, located in Mexico, you will never have access to that unless, you go into a computer or something like that. But at the end of the day, it facilitates not only the exploration of other places without having to go physically there, but also communication in terms of, cultural aspects that we do not necessarily know about other countries and so on. These digital collections facilitate precisely that. So I think, in terms of sustainability, but also in terms of cultural exchange, the work at the library here, I think, is very important.
Great. So interdisciplinary, collaborative, sustainable.
Yeah,
this is the kind
absolutely.
of research we look forward to. And what about the future? Technology is changing all the time. What can we expect as we peer into the future through the lens of digital humanities?
That is the 1 million question, you know, is quite a difficult question, I think, to answer. As you said, certainly we face loads of different challenges in terms of sustainability, particularly in the digital realm, precisely because of, you said, obviously technology is changing constantly. But I think the most important movement that digital humanities is supporting is looking towards open source specifically, and minding a bit more about how we approach specific technologies in order to create these collections. I think in the future will be quite important for us to learn from the different lessons at the end of the day that the past has in terms of how we need to look forward in order to sustain, you know, the collections that we create here.
And one of the kind of popular things is often said in the press, journalistically, around digital and digital humanities, is that it's the end of the book, the end of physical kind of objects. We'll all just be interacting digitally now, and that's marvellous. Personally, I found after lockdown, even though I'm the lead on digital, I'm working digitally every day, nothing I like more now than taking a nice hardback book, giving it a good squeeze, even a little sniff, opening it up and turning those lovely pages. Is it the end of the book? Can we live in this kind of blended hybrid world? What's your view on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have also to remember that there is only part of the population at the end of the day in the world that actually has this level of access to digital technologies, right? So it might be the case for some people that, yeah, they choose to actually go completely digital, but we are still, I think, very far away. You know, from something like Westworld or going completely digital in that sense. And, you know, I think there are advantages and disadvantages to digital technologies. We have to think as well of the level of sometimes ideas and impositions that certain technologies actually impose in people. So, you know, the creation of particular algorithms might be the case that have specific biases, right? So, yeah, we have to think quite carefully in terms of how we adopt technologies and so on. But definitely not. I'm the same as you. I think I love reading, and yeah, the book is not over for me, definitely.
Yeah, that's a great relief to me to hear that. I mean, obviously, equality, diversity, inclusion is another really important issue for the university. And again, here, technology and digital technology can play a huge role. I know in Africa, for instance, when I've been there, everyone uses mobile phones, for instance, and they use as a mode of communication. What's your view on that then? Can it be part of an inclusive agenda, the digital humanities?
Absolutely. I mean, it has been kind of like in the past few years proven once and again, particularly with economy, right? That the role that phones, for instance, mobile phones, can actually work in emerging economies like in Africa, but this happens also in Latin America, right? There has been recently the call for going to Bitcoin or, you know, like more kind of like other alternatives way of thinking of economy. And I think this is a fantastic, I will say, contribution from the digital world into societies. So yeah, there is, you know, digital humanities taps into all these different things. Not necessarily, we are kind of like a gossipy field. we love to actually look into many different things. But we also, as humanists, we also are very concerned about the ethics, for instance, behind of technology and how we use and how we implement these technologies in our daily lives, right? So it's not only about, you know, researching and thinking carefully about historical periods or, you know, I don't know, whatever that can be, archaeology or whatever else, but actually also on the roles that technology play in our societies in general.
Yeah, and is it, maybe a last question, universities often see as kind of ivory tower stuck on the hill, it's for specialists and kind of experts. So is there an interest here for non-experts in the digital humanities? What would be your pitch that, you know, people should come and visit our electronic collections, for instance? Are there applications in everyday life?
Absolutely. This is something, for instance, that I think there has been conversations around with our colleagues here at the library too, how we open these resources to communities that are not necessarily directly in connection to the university. And I think the library here at Lancaster has a very important role to play, not only locally, but I think also internationally in terms of the collections that we can showcase. I think it is a crucial point what you made there, and that is that communities, doesn't matter what age or what culture you come from, should always be close to the library, doesn't matter what, because it is, as Anna said, is so central to the production of knowledge, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I know friends even who are interested in investigating their own family histories, for instance, now are using, in a way, you could see spatial digital kind of technologies in that kind of pursuit. Paty, thanks so much for bringing this, what might seem an obscure subject, really to life, and show how central it is to what the university is doing and what the library is doing.
Thank you so much, Simon.
Brilliant. And now it's time to turn again to some music, and what could be better way of celebrating everything the library is about than to welcome one of our own library staff members, whose vocals are often used to kind of guide and help library users, but tonight are going to be used in song form, lucky for us. Nina Jones combines her acoustic guitar skills with silky smooth vocals, and she mixes up bluegrass, folk, indie influences. So unlike the very well-ordered library, I think we're now going to get a mix of different kinds of sources. So over to you, Nina. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to start with a love song. This is called Love on Love. No fight, no fuss, lay down beside me, let the rain fall around us. No fight, no fuss, lay down beside me, let the rain fall around us. Oh, darling, you are my home. When you're around, I can't feel down for very long. Oh, sweetheart, you drive me mad. You make me wild, it feels so fine, I feel so glad. You bring me love, love on love, love on love on love. Love on love on love on love on love on love. And don't you know you've been gone too long? When you're away, my heart will always sing our song. This garden's blooming green for you. Watch the seeds we planted growing strong and true. When I had to wave goodbye, you didn't cry for me, you just wrote poetry. You held a vigil all day long and let a candle burn, it melted everything. Left only love, love on love, love on love on love. Love on love on love on love on love on love. I saw your face lit up in firelight. I knew right then that you could hold me every night. And though the winds may come and shake our bones, we're always safe because we built our little home. With love, love on love, love on love on love. Love on love on love on love on love on love. No fight, no fuss, lay down beside me, let the rain fall around us. No fight, no fuss, lay down beside me, let the rain fall around us. Thanks, everybody. This next song is called Transform Again, and I wrote it in response to being in a women's group online, and we're all going through the perimenopause. But also it's referencing my daughter who's just about approaching puberty. So in the spirit of inclusion, here's Transform Again. All these little flames, all these little flames, all these little flames. Open the door, you have been called to transform. think of these bonds you've been holding on to, there's a new shape for you. Sorrow is your sister, she's been riding on your tail. Let her come up front. Try to resist her, she will find another way to let you feel her song. Oh, oh baby crone, look how you've grown. We'll crown you in the woods with rose hips all around and autumn leaves falling down, returning to the ground. Can you hear the laughter that the rushing river makes? You're flowing just like her. Try to resist her, she will find another way through our beloved earth. Oh, well, the time is now, and you may not know how, but you can feel it in your belly if you listen very quietly. Oh, well, I can feel you burning up, so pass the mother ward. Your laughter is a flame that burns the bullshit up. So grab your silky skin and darling dive right into the cold that makes you feel alive as you keep on learning to survive. And the time is now, and you know exactly how. And all these little flames are making me feel whole again. Oh, again. Oh, all these little flames, all these little flames, all these little flames, all these little flames. Thank you. This song is called Interconnected, and it's written in a response to another women's circle in a choir called my Mama Choir, Migrant Artists Mutual Aid, where I was recovering from an illness and I was singing alongside women who were refugees from all over the world. So that's about our journeys together. I'm climbing a mountain, you are crossing a river. I'm sailing an ocean through treacherous water. I try to resemble, at least I'm trying to, and you are raging against it. I'm feeling so mighty, and we are trees in a forest. We are interconnected. We lift up our eyes towards the light, towards the light. I'm putting down roots now in my community. I see my reflection when I stand next to you, and you are so beautiful, you are so powerful. I am so beautiful, I am so powerful. I live in the city, you live in the countryside. I'm a city vixen and you're a country fox, and we are trees in a forest, we are interconnected. We lift up our eyes towards the light, towards the light. Would you like to live in peace now? Oh yeah, what if there was enough for everyone? Oh yeah, well shall we organize ourselves then? together towards the light, 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 towards the light. We cannot move backwards, we have to move forwards. Let's build a future, 'cause we can't live in the past. No, Mother Earth will support us, her sons and her daughters. My brother Harry will light the way before us. Would you like to live in peace now? Oh yeah, what if there was enough for everyone? Oh yeah, well shall we organize ourselves then? Oh yeah, we are powerful together towards the light, 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 towards the light. I'm climbing a mountain, you are crossing a river, I'm sailing an ocean through treacherous water. Thank you. So this next song is called Mother Me, and it's also about what happens when you love anyone, your kids or anybody else. Can't remember it at all. So I'm going to play a different song. So this song is called Hope in the Time of COVID. And I wrote this in response to COVID and reaching out to people and what gave us hope and what made us feel connected. Maybe I'll remember that other song in a minute. Where are you finding hope today? Where are you finding hope? Where are you finding hope today? Where are you finding hope? Hope is in the seed and the seed will grow. Hope is in the seed and the seed will grow. So I sing to the seed, la 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 la. I sing to the seed, la 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 la. Where are you finding hope today? Where are you finding hope? Where are you finding hope today? Where are you finding hope? Hope is in the book that you read. Hope is in the book that you read. So yes, I sing to the books, la 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 la. Yes, I sing to the books, la 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 la. Because we're better together, taking care of each other by staying apart for now. It's definitely weird, but it won't be forever, and it's gonna get through, we're gonna get through. Where are you finding hope today? Where are you finding hope? Where are you finding hope today? Where are you finding hope? Hope is in the voice at the end of the line. Hope is in the voice at the end of the line. So yes, I sing to that voice, la 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 la. Oh yeah, I sing to the voice. La 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 la. Thank you. When you work in a library and you like singing, you don't often get to sing to the book. So I've been waiting for that moment where I get to sing to the books. Okay, so I'm going to invite Rob on stage. So me and Rob Davies both work in the library as library service advisors. And tonight we are Rob and Nina. What are we called? Robina. So this is a song by Mr. Roborelli, amazing New Zealand children's singer-songwriter. Okay, and it's called At the Library. There was this girl from my street I'd occasionally meet at the library. And it always left me puzzled how she carried home the books she borrowed. Oh, whoa, she always went by herself and she emptied the shelf at the library, Then she staggered out the door and it wasn't long before I followed. Oh, whoa.
And now I hid behind a tree so she wouldn't notice me. Da 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 dee da, da 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 dee da, da 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 da.
Library, that's the place I like to be. Library, at the library. Oh yes, I gasped as I hid when I saw what she did with the book she had, and I understood then that she always went home the long way. Oh, whoa, whoa, as she unloaded the book and the wheelbarrow took all the weight of it, I could see she was ashamed, so I planned to do the same tomorrow. And now the whole street sings along as we sing our library song. Da-da-da-dee-da, da-da-da-dee-da. Let's hear you clap, ready? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Library, that's the place I like to be. Library, at the library. Library, that's the place I like to be. Library, at the library. At the library. At the library.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that's the last song from me. So if come and see us in the library, and we'll help you find books.
Nina and Rob, thank you so much. I think a library anthem has been born tonight, which I expect to hear ringing out each time I come into the library. I think you've given us all hope tonight, and maybe in a private moment, if absolutely no one's looking, I may start to sing to my own books when I need cheering up. And I think I'd find it very difficult to classify you in a kind of music library. You've really taken us to many different kind of locations and geographies and emotions. So thanks so much, Nina, for entertaining us tonight. And I look forward to coming to the library and hopefully encouraging you to sing a little bit more. Great. So now we have our third guest. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome my colleague, Professor Jess Davies, Professor of Sustainability in the Lancaster Environment Centre. And your work centres on how we make the best of soils, countryside and urban spaces to deal with climate and food challenges. You're also the director of the Centre for Global Innovation, which I'm going to ask you more about, and that brings people together across many different disciplines and sectors to develop eco-innovative products, practices and services as we address climate and environmental emergencies. Now, you learn a huge amount through these. I'm learning about how talented everyone is, these colleagues, but I'm also learning about your own work, which I didn't know, that you actually started out in something called autonomous systems research, developing technology for aircraft and railway applications.
Yeah.
So how on earth did you get from there to soil?
Yeah, sometimes you talk to people and they think, oh, that's a really big leap. But to me, it doesn't seem so big in some ways. I was interested, when Paty was talking, she said about having two loves and that she combined them in digital humanities. And it's a bit like that, but I didn't know I had a love for soil. So I started out and I was doing my PhD and studying aircraft systems. And so I was using computer technologies, I was designing algorithms to help make these systems more reliable. And it was really fascinating. I loved the computing, I loved the algorithms. I wasn't so in love with planes and trains, but not as much as my colleagues were at the time. And so I decided, right, I'm going to go and try and apply this to something else. And I came here to Lancaster Environment Centre and started applying those sorts of things to the environment and got stuck on soils because I think soils are just so fascinating. They're really great systems to try and understand. They emerge from biology, from chemistry, from physics, and from our relationship with the land. So soils are like this physical manifestation of everything that's happened before, of climate, of human actions, of all these sort of environmental processes as well. So they're really interesting to try and understand using digital tools. But they're also really important as for society. So really central to things like climate change, the biggest store of carbon in our Earth system, really important for food, for water quality. So just realise, oh, there's this thing here that I haven't really thought about that much that's, sitting below our feet that's quite hard to understand. So we need these tools to try and understand it a bit more. But it's really important for our future as well. So I just got totally stuck on soils.
Fantastic. So help us get more of that. Tell us about a project that you're doing, perhaps, that one we might understand. Using those digital technologies, what have you been doing to kind of explore the world of soil?
Yeah, so we have one project, which is my Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council Fellowship, which is just coming towards an end now. And within that, we try to develop computer models that predict how soil changes in response to things like climate change, in response to how we manage the land, so how we do agriculture or whether we plant trees, and how then it delivers central services like food production, carbon storage, and water quality and regulation. And so we develop computer models that are a bit like climate models. So some people might know about climate models and predictions. We do the same for soils and predict how they're going to change over time. And we currently work with the Department of Environment and Agriculture, so DEFRA in the UK, to try and understand how schemes like the new policies around environmental land management and farming may manifest in what's going to happen to our soils. Are they going to have more carbon, less carbon, and the different climate scenarios? So that's kind of the work we get up to.
It's central to our life and our future.
Yeah, definitely. I think
and
so.
Again, this is an interdisciplinary kind of project.
Yeah, an interdisciplinary endeavour. So it means bringing together physical and biological, chemical scientists, the scientists who understand all these processes in the soil, along with people who understand computer modelling and data science in order to create these tools. But it also is really important to me is that we come to a point where we have something that is useful. I'm an engineer. I'm trained as an engineer originally. So, it also means working with lots of people outside of research and engineering, working with the people who are making decisions and understanding how these models can support those decisions. And one group in particular I've been really interested to work with over the past few years is businesses. you might think, oh, well, what's the link between businesses and soils? Well, I think soils are the foundations of businesses across many sectors, and businesses haven't been well engaged within the soil sustainability agenda. So as soil researchers, we were talking to farmers, we were talking to policymakers, we were talking to NGOs and charities about the environmental side of soils, but we weren't talking to businesses, even though they fundamentally depend on those soils and they fundamentally affect them. So that, as part of my fellowship as well, I set out on this mission to have some soil conversations with business leaders, and was very sort of lucky to be able to do that. I spent some time at the World Business Council for Sustainable Development that brought together 200 global businesses across sectors, and started having conversations about soils with CEOs and heads of sustainability in these big companies. And those conversations first, sort of, there's low awareness and, why are we talking about soils? But we found the conversation grew over time, and the soils meeting, the soils breakfast we used to have in those meetings got very popular. And and that's led to us working together to form guidance on how you make a business case for investing in soil, and how do you think about soil in your business strategy. It's all kinds of business, from, I guess the obvious ones are food businesses where soils are really important, but there's fashion, pharmaceuticals, those companies, they all have soils in their supply chain. So soils are really fundamental to what they do. Also water intensive industries, soils are a really important store of water. And so if you ruin your soils, you're going to ruin your water availability. So you can quickly come into sort of problems as a water intensive industry if you're not looking after soils in your catchments. And then climate change is something that connects us all. And soils are a big store of carbon. There's opportunities there for storing more carbon in soils, and the risk that if we don't look after our soils, then we end up accelerating climate change. So there's lots of different aspects that supporting business and that businesses can invest in.
Incredibly collaborative, and the challenge is to start to think of things where soils aren't important by the sound of it.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit biased.
An incredibly international agenda as well. From what you're saying.
Absolutely. Yeah. The soil resource is global.
Yeah. So again, similarly, I was asking Paty, given that common theme about sustainability, how do you develop that kind of global collaborative kind of agenda, while also thinking back to your first kind of challenge around transportation and carbon? And I know this is something in the Environment Centre you've been really taking a leading role on in the university, thinking about this. So perhaps you could share some of those, not just in your own research, but perhaps within LEC itself.
Yeah, it's really challenging, I think, and it's something we need to be more upfront about. How do we do good science, good research that has good international partnerships and is really speaking to the world and working with the world, whilst also not getting on a plane all the time and burning up all that carbon? It's not sustainable for us to do that. The options in terms of technologies on the horizon to make that transport clean are not near. We're not going to have green flight anytime soon. Offsetting is problematic, so we really need to reduce how much flying we're doing, and that's a hard thing to do, and something we need to talk about openly. A lot of is an equity problem there as well. A lot of people have built their careers on being able to jump on flights and travel all around the world, and for young researchers, who are we to say that they can't do that anymore? So these are difficult conversations we need to have, but they're important ones. And so it's a conversation we've started in Lancaster Environment Centre, something people are very passionate about, and thinking about our own practice as researchers. We should be acting more sustainably and putting our principles into practice. And so we've been having that conversation and developing tools to help us try and reduce our travel then. So we have a bit of travel hierarchy now, where you can go through that hierarchy and think first, do I need to make this flight? Is there another option for me to to join this meeting. You know, if you really need to take it, can you join up purposes for your travel? Can you do more things while you're there that really brings the value from it and reduces future travel? And what greener options are there for travelling? So before COVID, I'd started doing this myself. I'd stopped flying. It was a hard sort of step to make, with particularly being involved in European projects. And getting the train, getting Eurostar quite a bit. And I think COVID, in some way, you know, has been a useful thing for our practices in that project. And I think now we're much more prepared and ready to meet virtually than we were before then. So, you know, hopefully there's going to be some good practices that come out of this that we've learned that we can meet virtually and it still work. You know, we still want to meet face to face sometimes, and that's good for establishing relationships, but we don't need to travel as much as we did.
And that work, as you know, has been central as we developed the conversation across the university in our little conversations.
Yeah.
And we're now exploring whether we can start to incorporate that within travel guidance across the university. So you and your colleagues have really been showing great leadership there.
Yeah.
So
all down to my colleagues, they're great.
Very modest. Perhaps you could tell us just a little bit about the Centre for Global Innovation, your colleagues' work as well as your own.
Yeah, sure. So this is a university research centre. I became the director last year, and our purpose then is to help support the development of sustainable solutions. And how we need to do that, we need to bring diverse expertise together. Sustainability, these are often complex problems, so it means that we need to bring various different pieces of expertise into the room with the practitioners, with the people on the ground, who have the on-the-ground knowledge and expertise, and develop solutions together. And that's our purpose then. So we have a long standing reputation and experience of working with small businesses in particular, and in our region and globally. So we take a place-based approach. We like to bring businesses and organisations who are in a region together to develop solutions with researchers that are place appropriate. So we do that in the Northwest. Particularly, we have a programme at the moment, EcoEye Northwest, that is from Cumbria down to Cheshire. And we work with businesses in the region. We have around 20 PhD studentships at the moment, all business-led challenges around sustainability that we bring together interdisciplinary researchers, supervisory teams with, and we have these students who are developing solutions with these businesses. So we work in our region, but we've transferred and adapted this kind of approach to other projects as well. As a large GCRF, Global Challenges Research Fund funded project in the centre as well. That's a really important part of the centre called Recirculate that looks at circular economy solutions for water and for energy, and that is across a number of African countries, sub-Saharan Africa. And we take the same sort of approach of tapping into networks of innovators and entrepreneurs, understanding the problems from the people and the organisations on the ground, working with them, working together in order to co-develop solutions.
And it's a brilliant link, obviously, with our Ghana campus as well. So
yeah,
exemplifying how Lancaster is a truly kind of global university joined up across our campuses.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. We have a Centre for Global Eco-Innovation Ghana.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the same sort of ideas being implemented and put into practice there.
Fantastic work. And I listen, I can't miss the opportunity to ask you about the green wall that I was talking to Anna about.
We do love the green wall.
We love the green wall. And my notes tell me, mention something about the Urban Revolution project.
The Urban Revolution.
So I'd like to invite you to comment on the green walls and tell us a bit about the Urban Revolution.
No, I'm very excited about green walls. So this project we have ongoing is a collaboration between Lancaster, Liverpool and Cranfield University, and we're interested in the power of bringing the rural into the urban. So that's this urban thing that we're interested in. And so by bringing food growing and nature into our urban spaces, what does that do for us? So as an environmental scientist, I'm interested in how it can improve the quality of urban ecosystems and how they in turn support our well-being. And other people in the project are interested in how it affects our stress levels, how it affects our well-being, how it affects our diets as well. So we're interested in particularly sort of greenery where there's food growing. So I was asking Anna, can we have an edible wall next time? Because yeah, we're really wondering whether there's extra value you get to that then. Because if you have an edible wall, you have this presence of food around you as well, and we're quite disconnected from our food system, where we've become increasingly disconnected from how food grows, where it grows. That we don't think about where it is, and you have to you're on the move and it's in packaging, and it can feel quite alien. But to have food growing around you, that reconnects us with the process of growing. And we're hoping that can help change diets and change dietary preferences. And we've seen some evidence for this in our work then, suggesting that if you are an urban food grower, or you perceive yourself to be surrounded by urban food growing, you're more likely to have better diets. And that is not... we thought that could be associated with the fact that there's just more healthy food available, but we found that it's motivated by people having greater care for where food comes from, for how sustainable it is, for how it affects their health. So maybe an edible wall in the library, you're having your little lunch break in the library. Yeah, it's there.
Sounds marvellous to me, marvellous. So final question, so I'm going to do something a little bit sneaky. So we're enjoying the Library Festival today, but you and I have a shared interest, many of us have a shared interest in another festival that's coming up soon.
We do.
The COP26 Festival.
Yeah.
So it seems a great opportunity here just to ask you to tell everybody a little bit about the COP26 Festival as a little trailer.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited about the COP26 Festival. So COP26 is coming to Glasgow in November. This is the global climate talks. They're going to bring together politicians and business leaders and all sorts of leaders. But climate is a problem for everyone, and it's something we all need to act on. So we're really excited at Lancaster to, in the run-up to the climate talks at Glasgow, to hold our own festival and to talk about what we as an organisation are doing in terms of climate, what we do that's research relevant, and just really interact with all our communities, local communities and partners, and talk about climate and talk about what do we want to do next in terms of our climate commitments and actions.
Great.
So I'm really excited about it.
And there's going to be an agenda coming around soon. There's a schedule of events, and so news to follow soon.
Yeah, it's going to be a diverse programme of events, lots of different types of opportunities, games and lectures and hands-on stuff and walks, and so it should be fun.
Brilliant. So another festival to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Jess, thanks so much for answering all those questions and making such a fascinating research agenda you've got, which is so central to what the university is all about. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Simon.
Great. So whoever put this program together is incredibly clever, because the next act now we have is Daisy Barlow. But the first question we need to answer is, do you like worms? So fantastic segue there. And it might seem a strange question, but actually Daisy, that's the name of the band that Daisy is a part of, a local Lancaster band. And normally Daisy is joined by bass and drums, but tonight we have an exclusive chance to experience Daisy in a rare solo performance. I'm not sure if we'll get to find out whether Daisy likes worms, but I know we're going to love her music and be uplifted by it. So please, Daisy, over to you.
Good evening at Lancaster University. That is possibly the best intro I've ever had in my whole entire life. And I was gearing up myself for lady talking about soil, Do you like worms? Absolutely super. So yeah, I am Daisy. I'm going to do a few tunes for you this evening. And this first one is Black and White. And it is about when things are just black and white sometimes. So I hope you enjoy. I need time to figure out what is right. What is right? I ain't time. He's ticking away down the drain. And you said that nothing would ever be the same. Yeah, you said that nothing is gonna change, and nothing's black and white. Black and white, nothing's black and white. Black and white, yeah, rise. Your head above the rise, your head up high. Rise and stop just a little bit, stop just a little bit and rise. Yeah, stop just a little bit, stop just a little bit and try. Yeah, you said that nothing would ever be the same. Yeah, you said that nothing is gonna change, and nothing's black and white. Black and white, and nothing's black and white. Black and white, and nothing's black and white. And stop just a little bit, stop just a little bit and rise. Yeah, stop just a little bit, stop just a little bit and try. Yeah, you said that nothing would ever be the same. Yeah, you said that nothing is gonna change, and nothing's black and white. Black and white, and nothing's black and white. Black and white, nothing's black and white. Nothing's black and white. Thank you very much. Now this next song is, it's all about biscuits. Now, it's about when you like somebody or you love somebody more than biscuits. And I know, as my dad's a lecturer at the University of Cumbria, and he loves biscuits. So I'm sure plenty of you working here do love biscuits as well. But this is about liking somebody a little bit more than biscuits, which is a big thing. So this is called I Like Biscuits. I'll start that again, shall I? Chris over there, your sound guy, is my drummer in the band, so he's probably rolling his eyes right now. I like biscuits, but not as much as you. I like coffee, go on and make it too. I like kiss, just thought I'd add it in. I hope that you've been listening. I am a fan of all of your favorite bands. Fleetwood Mac said, "Lana, be true. You make loving fun. No, it must be you. This is a roundabout way of saying, a roundabout way of saying me and you. Me and you. Paul Stanley, oh what a guy, even though he's 65. He's gorgeous and I love him so, but over you I'd have to let him go. This is a roundabout way of saying, a roundabout way of saying me and you. Me and you. listening. Thank you very much. Now this next song is called Down to the River, and I hope you enjoy it. Went down to the river where I took me out a boat, and I sailed across the water like I always knew I would. And my mother said, don't be alarmed, but Christ my Lord, will I be harmed? Oh, the wind, I did change, oh, the wind did change that day. Say, oh, oh. Said the priest to those who looked, and I turned my back, I walked away. I never knew I could. And my mother said, don't be alarmed, but Christ my Lord, will I be harmed? Oh, the wind, I did change, oh, the wind did change that day. Say, to be fighting for the river to change its flow. And we all say, he's pushing me out of bed. And we're fighting for the cold inside my head. It's so cold, oh, say oh, oh, oh. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, for people at home, there is a telly over there. There's cameras here. It is like being on Granada. It's like the nearest experience I'll get to TV, I'm sure. So this. Oh, I'm waffling. This next song is a little cover for you, and I'm sure you'll all know it. And feel free to sing along on this wonderful Friday evening. So this is Three Little Birds. Woke up this morning, and I smiled at the rising sun, and three little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true. They were singing, this is my message to you. Say, baby, don't worry about our thing, no, because every little thing is gonna be alright. Baby, don't worry baby, don't worry, worry, no. Baby, don't worry, no. Baby, don't worry, no. Baby, don't worry, 'cause every little thing will be alright. Yeah, baby, don't worry about a thing, no. Because every little thing is gonna be alright. Baby, don't worry about a thing, no. Because every little thing is gonna be alright. I said every little thing is gonna be alright. Thank you very much. I'm gonna do one more. You lucky people, one more. Now, this song is a song that the band won't let me do. Okay? So, this is a song, and I'm sure the people that are here will recognise this, that a plant, when I was at university a few years ago, a plant became very important to me, my little plant on my desk. So this song is about that plant, and she was named Susan, and it's all about our journey together with my little orchid. Might bring a tear to your eye. It was round Christmas time, the first time that you came to me, and your head was open to the sky. And I know it's not right to wish away the days, but I wished them away with you. And your presence took the dark from the light. And we'd laugh and we'd cry and we'd sit up all night. And I'd watch you as you'd watch me so. And you'd watch me as I'd watch you grow. I could even say I need you. I could even say life was better with you. I could even say you brightened up my life. I could even say it's true, because I do. Oh, Susan, it's you. Oh, Susan, it's true. Oh, Susan, it's you. Oh, Susan, were you sent from above? Oh, Susan, you were sent with love, and you sat on my desk next to my cup of tea. And I know it was alright because you were here with me. I could even say I needed you. I could even say life was better with you. I could even say you brightened up my life. I could even say it's true, because I do. Because I do. Oh, Susan, it's you. Oh, Susan, it's true. Then one winter's day I looked upon your face. It was all withered and pale. No matter how I tried, no matter how I fought for you, your pretty little petals told the truth. And I just want to tell you how bad my life without you. Oh, Susan, you were my everything. You were sent with love. Oh, did you come from above? Oh, Susan, I really miss you. Oh, Susan, it's you. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, Susan, I do. Da, 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 da. Oh, Susan, it's you. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, Susan, it's you. Oh, oh. Oh, Susan, it's you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I hope you continue to have a great night. And hello to everyone at home. Thank you very much.
Daisy, we certainly like you more than biscuits, though I'm not sure about worms. I think that may, we have to be careful about that. But thank you for continuing the plant theme with Susan the orchid, who I'm sure we will always remember with great fondness. So thank you again for entertaining us. And we're now going to turn to our fourth interview. It's a great pleasure to have Professor Joe Knight with us. Joe, you're a Professor of Applied Data Science here at the university, and also Research Director of Eden Project North, so perhaps we can talk about both of those areas. Your research is focused on data collection during healthcare appointments to improve health outcomes, and that means, again, you're having to do your research in partnership with local NHS trusts. And for this role, you kind of catalyse and connect research projects also aligned with Eden, I think. So we'll talk a bit more about that. You teach in the medical school, and I also say you have a husband, son, and a very neurotic Cocker Spaniel. So I'm very keen that we do get to that before we finish the interview. But we'll save the best till last. And perhaps we should start with just trying to understand a little bit more about what does a data scientist do, if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. So data science is something that sits in the middle of a triangle between a computational scientist, between statisticians, and then some kind of domain experts. So the domain experts can be in health, or they can be in aviation, or whatever that might be. And so data scientists are these people in the middle of all of those different things. And so my area of data science is health, and as you mentioned, routinely collected health data. And so that is, as Simon said, when you go to the doctor, when you go to A&E, when you have any kind of interaction with healthcare, this routinely collected data is all there, and it's sitting in the NHS. And then there's obviously processes about how you access that data securely, which we could talk about, and how people feel about that. But then there's a tremendous amount of work that you can do with that data that can lead to improvements in health outcomes.
Great, and I think we all face that choice actually when we're all downloading now our NHS app, and we get that tick about the privacy and everything. So, what does sharing our data mean? How does your work and this process help healthcare outcomes?
So there's lots of different ways that we can help improve health outcome using that routinely collected data, and they're really diverse. So it can be from things like understanding who is seeing different clinicians at different times, how long certain people with certain kind of diagnoses have to wait, how that might impact their illness, how heavily burdened the services are, how you might be able to change service utilisation. So it can be about how the services are run, what impact that has on individuals for when they see a doctor, and what changes you might be able to make so that the right people see the doctors as quickly as they need to be. Or it could be much more kind of diagnosis and biological driven. So you might be able to take all of the readings that are come in on a person when they arrive, say a person that arrives in accident and emergency, and their bloods are taken and various different measures are taken. You might put all of that information together and try and predict who's at most risk of a sort of sudden downturn and who needs to be seen very quickly, what kind of tests can happen more quickly so the results come through. So it can be kind of quite service evaluation, or it can be very medically driven. And we work with different people to answer those different kinds of questions. And
clearly, again, highly collaborative, but very interdisciplinary as well?
Yes. Arguably, having been in medical research for all of my career, I would argue that it's actually, we've been doing interdisciplinary research for a really long time, because from the very beginning you have a medic who has been trained to recognise and understand and know lots about different diseases. Then you're going to have potentially lab techs, people who are in a wet lab actually putting together different chemicals and maybe extracting DNA, or are doing all those, putting things together and testing stuff on cells, all the different kind of biological stuff. You've got obviously the computer scientists, you've got the statisticians who are working together to analyse all this data that's coming out, and also you have we've been arguably doing engagement with patients, so increasingly research is engaging with the people that we're researching on, but actually in medical research, practitioners have been talking to patients for a very long time about the right things to do and the things that people think would be helpful. So yeah, it's a very interdisciplinary field.
And obviously you're working with local NHS trusts, and not every country is lucky to have enough to have an NHS.
Yes.
But is this an international agenda?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in all sorts of different ways. So with the NHS in the UK, although we have kind of one NHS, we have incredibly disparate systems for recording that information, which can be really hard to work with. So when you go into the NHS, if you go into the local hospital, it won't necessarily be the same system that's holding the data from, say, the operating theatres to the outpatients to the inpatients, whatever. But we still do have one NHS, and there's one point of access for people. And so there's although there's challenges, there's ways to access that data and work with it. And if we use the routinely collected data rather than collecting our own data, the work that we do can be replicated in any trust across the country, which I think is a really important component of the work. In some countries, for example, like the US, with the private healthcare system, as a data scientist, that can be quite helpful because there are big private healthcare companies who hold lots of information, and so you can utilise that for analysis. They can be, and this is even so within the UK, it can be somewhat driven by the information that's collected to understand the costing, because even in the UK, although we don't pay for our medical services directly, the government does, so they need to be commissioned and understood and expense-wise. So some of the most rigorous information that's collected can be about costing, and you can see that model very clearly in somewhere with private healthcare like the States. But even in countries where the system is a lot less perhaps regulated and in places private and sometimes inaccessible, there's still stuff you can learn about what services can be delivered, and certainly about using any data that is collected about how you can improve healthcare for people in all sorts of situations.
And this may not be your particular expertise, but obviously with Paty we were talking about countries in the south and technology. Do you see potentially, even in countries without the same kind of developed infrastructure, that there is potential here?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that's been looked at now and people are trying to work out more is how to bring together routinely collected data that's driven, like I said, by what the doctors and their colleagues tend to think is important to collect, together with patient-reported outcomes, which are things that people might collect on their mobile phones. And as you mentioned previously, all over the world, people are using mobile phones. And so if you think about using mobile phones for collecting information about diagnosis or other kind of sometimes fairly low technologies, there's still a lot you can learn and use this kind of maybe not routinely collected but broadly collected data to improve healthcare.
Very exciting. So turning to sustainability, here perhaps the opportunity to talk about your work with Eden North, and very exciting news this week about the planning application going in. So we're all staying very positive about Eden and hoping it comes off. So tell us a bit about your role and about Eden more generally.
Yeah, so Eden Project North is obviously a really exciting development that's going to be happening in Morecambe, hopefully. Fingers crossed, Planning Permission just gone in. So it's a development which is really exciting for the region. It is a place that people will go to have a day out. It is a sister of Eden Project Cornwall, and hopefully there'll be many other siblings as Eden Project International developed. But it's somewhere people think that would be a fantastic day. I'll go and do that. But the ethos of the Eden Project is about connecting people with nature and connecting people with each other. So that day can have quite a significant impact on people. They can learn a lot of stuff that could be important about nature. They can learn stuff about themselves. They can understand the importance of rural and urban, like we were talking about earlier. So it is this place that holds a lot of meaning and a lot of potential for the individuals that visit. And even beyond that, under the hood, it's incredibly innovative when it thinks about the group of people that are developing it think about sustainability. So, the stuff you mentioned about the library earlier, again, their architects are thinking, and their planners have been thinking really clearly about the kind of materials they use, the way they build the structures so that they're sustainable, and they have a really strong program of understanding, what the waste management, using local food supply chains and all these kind of things. So it's everything from this development that is a day out to this incredibly innovative way to think about sustainability, and to introduce a whole range of other people into sustainability.
And I know your role is particularly looking for the opportunities for research as well.
Yeah.
Where do you see the potential there?
The potential is really broad, and so I think in some ways that's why it's kind of good that when I talk about my research earlier, you think, well, what's she got to do with Eden? Why Eden? Because typically people think of Eden as, the people that might do the research. There might be the botanists or something like that. But Eden, as I mentioned, has this ethos of connecting people with nature and connecting people with each other. So it's very much beyond just thinking about, it does think about sustainability, thinking about biodiversity and things like that, but it's people and nature as well. So we have one project that's been going on for quite some time, the Future Places Centre, which is funded by one of our research councils, which is in partnership with Eden, basically. So Eden are involved in all the conversations and thinking about how the research is embedded with partners. And what that project does is it looks at the way that we use data from phones, from all sorts of other kind of Internet of Things, as they call it now, so maybe your toaster or your washing machine or whatever, how we use all of that data that's being fed in to create future places that are healthier environments to live in. So the Future Places Centre is done in partnership with Eden. As they come into Morecambe, they're partners in thinking about what data is used and what information we can get from it. Something that's just been funded, the funding has just been announced, that Eden are going to try and support through different works is a project getting teenagers to help visualise what the coastal communities are going to look like in the concept of climate change, because obviously we all think about the potential of water rises, but there's a bit more than that going on, because it depends in any one region. It's not just about how low-lying it is, but there's other factors that might influence how water rises might change that region, and so it's getting teenagers who are the ones that potentially would be very impacted by that to consider and visualise what that might mean and how things might be changed. So that's a piece that's been just announced, I think, earlier this week. And then a project that's actually just been submitted this week, so who knows whether it will be funded or not, is, again, in partnership with Eden, a project around thinking about the impact of social science on climate change. So when we think about climate change, we might think about some of the things that Jess was talking about the physics and the chemistry of soil and how that what you can do there, but you also need alongside that, and Jess obviously talked about some of the work she does with these people, but you need these social scientists who are the people that kind of begin to understand what's likely to help someone's behaviour change, and are people ready for talking about these concepts yet? How might you engage them? And also, how again, like Jess talked about the businesses and their involvement in climate change. So we've got a work that has been submitted, who Eden would be a partner on, trying to kind of be a testbed for some of this stuff, thinking about this social science aspect of climate change and bringing together information and delivering it. So those are three
fantastically
examples.
exciting, and of course what's happening there is you're connecting the research to issues of engagement and education as well. And
yeah.
I know it's probably not the focus of your role, but can you tell us something about the Morecambe Bay curriculum, which is a key part of this project?
Yeah, so Morecambe Bay curriculum has been going. Has been developed over a period of time already. So I think about 18 months. And what that is it's part a curriculum that will be placed in schools, but it's also a little bit more than that. So it's in part workforce reform. So in terms of what goes into schools, it's something that's based on the United Nations Development Goals, and it's getting education through to children that might change them in all sorts of ways. So it can do anything from educate people around food growing, so you're preparing for a slightly different, obviously very different potentially environment to live in by just being able to do practical things like understand how to grow your own food, but also educating people into the kind of roles that might be important when we think about, sustainable supply chains and local supply chains and things like that. So it's got that kind of education piece, but it also has a broader reach of kind of work reform more generally to go alongside.
So exciting, a brilliant emblematic project for what the university can do and contribute to in that collaborative way. Brilliant, thank you. So to the last most crucial question, the very neurotic Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah, I mean, she'd probably love to be here, scanning under the tables to see if there was any leftover food or any food going down people's handbags, and then almost certainly eating something that was incredibly dangerous and toxic to her and ending up in the vet. So, and she really likes people if she thinks they might be holding food, but other than that, she finds them generally quite frightening. So if you meet me out and she barks at you, it's only because she's frightened, unless you're holding a biscuit, and then she'll be best friends forever.
And a lover of soil or worms?
Yeah, she likes to roll in worms, actually.
Okay, so the theme continues. So I knew this was an important question for you. Jo, thank you. It's fantastic work you and colleagues and everyone is doing, and we've all got our fingers crossed for Eden. Thank you so much. Okay, and we're now over to our final piece of music, Alice Ashcroft. And the unearthing of the fantastic talent at Lancaster University continues, because I believe Alice actually is very familiar with the university because she's worked as a key member of the IT Partnering Innovation Team in ISS for many years. She currently hosts a podcast on the power of words, loves reading, and is doing a PhD in gender and diversity in digital innovation, very important topic. Her love of words and language comes across in her music, as I'm sure we'll hear, and it includes 4 EPs and a 2019 album, It Didn't Hurt Me. Her most recent single is When Will I Meet You? And the answer is now. Over to you, Alice.
Oh my goodness. You can tell Mr. Dixon wrote that introduction because he is very good at bigging people up to...
I cannot lie.
Is that right? Cool. We're just going to go for it. With the right chord, though. It's important.
Salt air and the rust on your door. I never anything more. Whispers of are you sure? Never have I ever before, but I can see us lost in the memory. August slipped away to a moment in time, 'cause you were never mine. And I can see us twisting in bed sheets. August sipped away like a bottle of wine, 'cause you were never mine. You're back beneath the sun, wishing I could write my name on it. Will you call when you're back at school? I remember thinking I had you, but I can see us lost in the memory. August slipped away to a moment in time, 'cause you are never mine. And I can see us twisting in bed sheets. August sipped away like a bottle of wine, 'cause you are never mine. Back when things were still changing for the better, wanting was enough. For me it was enough to live for the hope of it all. Cancel plans just in case you call and say meet me behind the mall. So much for summer love and saying us, 'cause you were mine to lose. You are mine to lose. Do you remember when I pulled up and said get in the car, and then cancel my plans just in case you call? Back when I was living for the hope of it all, for the hope cancel my plans just in case you call. Back when I was living for the hope of it all, for the hope of it all. Meet me behind the mall. Meet me behind the mall. Meet me behind the mall. So much for summer love and saying us.
Thank you. This is only my second gig since like lockdown happened, if we're allowed to mention that word. Chris said we weren't allowed to swear, so yeah, it's all a bit nervous. And I think it's even worse because I know so many people in the audience. Like, put me in front of a room full of strangers and it's great, but people you know, it's like, oh, they know me. What if they don't like it? So this next one's one of my own. It's called Ghost.
Seeing you smile hurts the most. Knowing you're happy without me, I've ended up as a ghost. Fade into the scenery. I refuse to let you in. You've left me behind. I can't believe that I let you in. You're not even on my mind. I don't think about you. No, 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 no. Help me as I fall apart. Help me as I find a way. Help me as I fall in love with you. Look me in the eyes and tell me you don't feel the same. Time after time, and we just feel the pain. I tell myself that time will mend that. I'll get tired. The strength that I spend, I thought you admired me. I don't think about you. No, 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 no. Help me as I fall apart. Help me as I find a way. Help me as I fall in love with you. There was never a me and you. Think about what we'd have to do. I can't stand the silence anymore. Help me as I fall apart. Help me as I find a way. Help me as I fall in love with you. Help me as I fall apart. Help me as I find a way. Help me as I fall in love with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, good sir. This is my bass player and water fetcher, Fergus Walsh. This next one's a cover of a song called Not Over You by Tessa Violet. You call me up, say that you've been busy, but something made you just reach out. And we meet up, tell each other stories about how we've been since we last talked. Our coffee date moves into the evening. We wonder how it got so late. We walk around and I keep asking how. I don't know better by now. You try but you can't change me. I think I'm going crazy. Keep saying that we're through, but baby, I'm not over you. You're quick to go attack, but when we split, I need you back. And you tell yourself we're through, but baby, I'm not over you. You wear your clothes like you're trying to impress me, but I just think you're overdressed. You roll your eyes, cause I keep my room messy, and you think we're too old for that. But I've got to know how you can tweet but you can't text me. You say that I just need control. We walk around and I keep asking how. I don't know better by now. You try but you can't change me. I think I'm going crazy. Keep saying that we're through, but baby, I'm not over you. You're quick to go attack, but when we split, I need your backhand. You tie yourself through, but baby, I'm not over you. Now you say losing my favorite music. We danced round my bedroom floor. Run to the store to pick up snacks for a movie we can't ignore. You try but you can't change me. I think I'm going crazy. Keep saying that we're through, but baby, I'm not over you. You're quick to go attack, but when we split, I need your backhand. You tell yourself we're through, but baby, I'm not over you. Baby, I'm not over you. Baby, I'm not over you.
Thank you once again. So, one of the instructions we were given for this evening was, if we can, tailor the songs to the themes of the evening. And I was like, all my songs are either about heartbreak or being happy in a relationship. How on earth do I tie it into all of these amazing themes of the evening? I'm in front of green, I guess. But that wasn't me. So this next song is very much about thinking you can change a guy when obviously you can't. But then I was like, I worked in innovation for 7 years. People don't like change. But then I was like, can I tie this in? And the answer is no. But if you can pretend that I did and tell Chris it was great that I tied in the themes, that would be really helpful. So this is a song called Change You.
How did I think that I was different? Did I think that you would change? She walked in, turned your head. To you we're all the same. We make up some excuses, forgetting who you are. Your time is up, you've pushed your luck, and this time you've gone too far. I'll be the one to change you, this time I know for sure. I'll be the one to change you. It's never been said before, said before. Recycling the same lines, I've heard it all before. But with me, I'm sure you mean it, but now she's showing me the door. I'm just seeing what is out there, and she might be your type. But with me, I'm sure you mean it, 'cause you hold me in the night. We make up some excuses, forgetting who you are. Your time is up, you've pushed your luck, and this time you've gone too far. I'll be the one to change you, this time I know for sure. I'll be the one to change you, it's never been said before. Oh, I'll be the one to change you, this time I know for sure. I'll be the one to change you, it's never been said before, said before. And I will warn her, and she won't hear, but she won't stop. No, he won't stop. And I will warn her, and she won't hear. No, he won't stop. No, it won't stop. We make up some excuses, forgetting who you are. Your time is up, you've pushed your luck, and this time you've gone too far. I'll be the one to change you, this time I know for sure. I'll be the one to change you, it's never been said before. I'll be the one to change you, this time I know for sure. I'll be the one to change you, it's never been said before, said before. Thank you. Thank you.
So I hope you all really enjoyed that song about innovation, right? Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Thanks. This next one is a song I wrote about being talked over in a meeting, which happens quite frequently if you're a woman. And this song's called Louder.
It's funny you didn't hear me. Oh, but you can't talk that way. Oh, you think you're better than me. Oh, but I'm not playing your game. You say it, I'll say it louder. You say it, I say it louder. Oh, you're trying to undermine me. Oh, do you think you should say that? Oh, are you scared of people listening? Oh, well, I can do more than that. You say it, I said it louder. You say it, I said it louder, but you don't hear me. Are you scared? Are you scared? Are you scared? Are you scared? You said it, I'll say it louder. You say it, I'll say it louder, but you don't hear me.
Thank you. So this one is a cover. If you know it, sing along. And if you don't know it, make up some words. Try and sing along. It'll be more entertaining. This is Maroon 5.
I was so high I did not recognize the fire burning in her eyes, the chaos that controlled my mind. Whisper goodbye and she got on the plane, never to return again, but always in my heart. This love has taken its toll on me, and she said goodbye too many times before. Her heart is breaking in front of me, and I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Whoa, whoa, I did my best to feed her appetite, to keep her coming every night. So hard to keep her satisfied. Oh, kept playing love like it was just a game, pretending to feel the same, but turn around and leave again. Whoa, this love has taken its toll on me, and she said goodbye too many times before. Her heart is breaking in front of me, and I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Whoa,
Thank you. And I saw at least 3 people singing along, so I'm calling that a success. This next one is another cover of a song by Taylor Swift. It's called All Too Well.
I walked through the door with you, the air was cold, but something about it felt like home somehow. And I left my scarf there, just sister's house, and you've still got it in your drawer even now. Oh, your sweet disposition, my wide-eyed gaze, we're singing in the car, getting lost upstate. Autumn leaves falling down like pieces in a place, and I can picture it all these days. And I know it's long gone and the magic's not here no more, and it might be okay, but I'm not fine at all. 'Cause here we are again on that little town street, and you almost ran the reds 'cause you were looking over at me. Wind in my hair, I was there, I remember it all too well. Photo album on the counter, your cheeks turning red. You used to be a little kid with glasses in a twin-size bed, and your mother's telling stories about you on a t-ball team. You tell about your past, thinking your future was me. And I know it's long gone and there was nothing else I could do to forget about you long enough to forget why I needed to. 'Cause here we are again in the middle of the night, we're dancing around the kitchen in the refrigerator light. Down the stairs, I was there, I remember it all too well. Hey, you call me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest. I'm a crumpled up piece of paper lying here 'cause I remember it all. Time won't fly, it's like I'm paralyzed by it. Like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it after plaid-shirt days and nights. You made me your own, you mailed back my things, and I won't come alone. But you keep that old scarf from that very first week, 'cause it reminds you of innocence. It smells like me, you can't get rid of it, 'cause you remember it all too well. Stairs, you were there, I remember it all, it was rare, you were there, I remember it all, it was rare, you were there, I remember it all too well. Thank you.
One more. Would you like a cover or an original? Oh, thank you. Okay, so this then is the title track of my album, which is coming out in hopefully November, maybe December. But we're trying really hard to get it out because of the worldwide situation over the last few years. I've not been able to gig as much as I would like, and so this was a Kickstarter funded album, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I'm so grateful for that. So this is the title track from that album. And if you would like to stream it in the future, shameless self-promo, you can follow me on all social media or any good streaming service. So this is Falling or Rising.
I don't know if I'm falling or rising, falling behind where I think I should be. Can't help but think of what we could have. Our lives set out what we could be, what we could be. time and I don't know about it. Tell me there's a place where we can go. All consuming, the thoughts have me drowning. The waves come in and crash over me, so I reach out. I can't help myself, I can't help myself, I can't help myself. I can't help myself, I can't help myself, I can't help myself, so I don't. What do I want from myself? Because I walk and I get tired. I think and I self-obsess. I can't spend an eternity figuring it out. I can't help myself, I can't help myself, I can't help myself, so I don't. I can't help myself, I can't help myself, I can't help myself, so I don't.
Thank you. I'm Alice Ashcroft and this is Fergus Walsh. Thank you.
Alice, thank you. And I felt you were, excuse me, perfectly on theme. Your songs are Heartbreaker, totally appropriate because sadly our time is up this evening. So thank you for bringing this fantastic, I think, evening of conversation and music to such a beautiful conclusion. All that remains really is for me to thank our wonderful guests, Anna, Paty, Jess and Joe. Thank you for answering all our questions and I think making fantastic connections as well between each other. It says so much, I think, about the way that Lancaster thinks about its research and its education and its engagement, which is brilliantly, I think, exemplified by the work that you're all doing. So thank you for that, and thank you to our wonderful musicians, Leah, Nina, Daisy and Alice. You really brought the evening alive and make it really kind of fantastic and relaxing evening. Thank you so much again. I would like to thank what I think are our executive producers, Phil Cheeseman and Chris Dixon. There may be others as well. Apologies if I don't have your names. And a particular shout out to our amazing tech team, Chris Brookbanks on sound, Jim Cook on video and stream, and Tim Parsons on tech setup. Thanks for making it so easy for us, and particularly for me. Just a final plug for the evening. This is only part one. Part two is tomorrow. And my colleague Sue Black takes her turn on the comfy couch with another, I'm sure, group of fantastic guests and brilliant musicians. So I'm sure there will be no better gig in town. So please, if you can't be here, do kind of sign up with your glass of wine and we'll see you back here tomorrow. So safe trips home. Thank you for coming, everybody, whether you're here physically or online. And yeah, we'll see you perhaps tomorrow night. Thank you. Enjoy your weekends.
But there's alive and then there's living. Am I living for today? And I'm getting older with every memory